YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Crypto J coming at you guys with yet another J Talks Crypto. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, bell notification. We're gonna talk about some crypto today. We talk about some Bitcoin. We talking about it all. Just getting set up. Give me uno momento. Uno momento, por favor. Let's do this. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of time, a little bit more time to jump on in here, figure how I want to do this. Take up the sliding. Step 1, be ready before the live stream. Step 2, start live streaming, right? But then I'm like, you know what? Just make it organic. Don't panic. It's organic, right? We're on the fly with this, boys. I'm trying to figure out the best sliding. I should have done this before I went live. What's up, brother? What's up? Yo. Oh, yo, in my eyeballs. Okay, yeah, we got to share this over on X. I'm going to have to share this on X. I'm going to get the word out. This is too much light. I don't like it. Okay, this is cool. I like this. It's darker. It's darker. It's the late night show, so I want it to be like dark. But let's share my screen. I'm going to share the you guys for joining me. I didn't say, but let's see. Let's share this over on live. You guys could feel free to share it over on live too, but I got to share this over on my Twitter, and then we can get started. Give these guys a little bit of chance to come on in here. Interesting price action that we've seen too since the last video. Pretty interesting. We are live. Oh man, I think we're gonna make this a pretty decent long size live. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, pretty interesting, right? Okay, we're gonna talk about this market. We're gonna talk about Bitcoin. I want to talk about Toshi coin, right? Talk about all these coins and Ethereum, of course. Market looking pretty volatile right now. Before we get into it too, I gotta let you guys know, not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm just a homie Crypto J. Feel free also to ask questions in the live stream. This is not like a other kind of video where you can't like engage. Like, feel free to talk to me. I'm a real person. This is like really live. So again, if you have any questions or if you're confused about anything that I'm talking about, just feel free to chime in. Or if you just want to chime in, just let me know. Somebody said one day is Toshi dead, next day huge moves coming, same-ish every day. Nick, you love me, dog. You love me. Just say it. Nick watches my channel all the time. He always has a smart little remark, don't you, Nick? I see you, Nick. But again, we're gonna talk about some Toshi. Nick knew it, right? Nick read the title. He knew. He knew why he came here. But maybe Nick has a crush on me. I don't know. We'll see. But as you guys can see, Bitcoin looking pretty solid on today, coming in at a 3.29. Fear Green Index coming in at starting to see Bitcoin bounce off of that 100K range. That is the question, right? We've been forming this bull flag all day. We talked about the possibility of us seeing a retest of this 106. Again, I don't like to see this type of price action happen early in the week. Generally, I like to see the pump happen later on in the week. I'm more of somebody that likes to see a pump happen on maybe Friday sometimes, but I don't know. Usually Thursday. It has to happen on Thursday, to be honest with you guys. Maybe Wednesday, Thursday, but Monday, Tuesday, usually it's just too much time before the weekend, just a little bit too much speculation. Again, we're creating a rising wedge here on the 7-day. This could really go either way. It can really go either way. Again, is Bitcoin going to drop down? Is it going to reject off of this level of resistance up here and see a retest of some of these lower levels? Or again, is Bitcoin about to start ascending? I want to know. So he said, I lost 15K with Toshi, and I want everyone to lose with me. Oh my gosh, how'd you lose, bro? What'd you sell? You sold your coins. Oh, you see how you are, Nick? You buy the top and then you sell the bottom. You come back and you're mad at me. You see? But again, guys, I don't know that we've seen the top. We don't know that we've seen the top on the cycle. We don't know that we've seen the top on Bitcoin. I personally don't like to sell when the prices are low and I'm down. If I was down 15K, I wouldn't be selling personally. But again, you know, you do what you want to do. Of course, nobody told you to put that much money in. Hopefully, that's 15K in profit that you're down, and not 15K of your hard-earned dollars that you can afford to lose. That would be irresponsible. You'd probably still blame me for that, but yeah. Anyway, as you guys can see, Bitcoin starting to form a little bit of a wedge here, and I'm wondering, are we going to break down going into tomorrow, or again, is Bitcoin going to pump out of this, right? Can we see again Bitcoin start ripping up to some new ranges? I want to know. Can we see 108, 110 happen? If that can happen, if we can create some strong closing, and guys, we can really reclaim that 110 pretty fast. It can happen faster than you think. I have a funny feeling. Again, we still have to break out. We still have to break up, but again, if we can get some traction, right? If we can get some volume coming here, then again, this could be a big run up if we could break out of this. But right now, it's looking like a possible sign of rejection, right? Yikes. As a matter of fact, I want to pull up some of these more micro indicators. And this is the first time that I'm really seeing this in the past couple hours. I do watch Bitcoin a lot, but I don't sit over it all the time unless I'm making a video. Then I'll be like, okay, what's going on in the chart right now? But it has been like a very volatile past couple of days. So again, one minute we think that we're breaking down, the next minute we think like, hey, have we found the bottom, right? Still a chance of possible double bottom here. Still also a chance that we reject down and that we continue to form a wedge. We see another retest of 100K and possibly lower, right? That's also another reality. And if we decide that we want to break down, then look, shoulder, head, shoulder, it could really be a doomsday scenario if we decide trend sideways. So again, not doomsday scenario, but it could definitely mean that we need to see more of a um just letting you know right now that if we do start trending sideways again, that is a lack of demand, and that could be an indicator that we need to break down more. Seeing this type of price action today again, it leaves me a little bit weary of what can come on Thursday. But again, we can have decent tomorrow, and then again Thursday we could be retesting some of the maybe like 110 or something like that. If that's the case, then again this breaks out even of the run up can be pretty big, especially when you consider you got a double bottom right here. You also have a cup and handle forming um, on the yearly. Let me see. On the 1 year, right? Let me see. You got this cup and handle forming right here on the 1 year, right? This cup, right? A little pullback, right? Maybe we'll start to see Bitcoin start to pump. But again, what we don't want to see is another rejection of the zone, creating this indicator that we're going to need to see some sell off. That would be bad news bears. But we still have some good news indicators that are still pointing in a positive direction. So you guys can see rainbow indicator. We showed this in today's earlier live stream. We pretty much showed every long-term indicator in today's live stream that we had earlier today. But the rainbow indicator was one that we did show, as you guys could see, showing like a possible time of accumulation, very similar to Trump's last term. We've been saying that since November, guys, the way that this trend has been looking, and just kind of where we've been at with the cycle, even where we were at when he got into office, when I was kind of telling you like, hey, we're in a heavy state of fear right now, right? Bitcoin was looking pretty nasty before Trump took office. Then Trump took office, we went from like 55 all the way up to over 100K. Totally crazy. Since then, it's been kind of a wild ride, right? Since November, we hit 100K, and look, now we're in June. We're still at 106. Still wondering, can we break out and have some more upside, right? But if we can break out and have some more upside, I do think that, again, there could be a lot of upside. We could see a stretch all the way up to maybe 120 or something like that. Some of these more longer term indicators are showing. So again, I still feel good on the cycle. I still feel like there could still be some more upside. I know a lot of people are down on some investments right now because, again, the market has been volatile. But hey, welcome to crypto. That's the way it goes. If this is your first cycle, then welcome. Sometimes you're going to be down. And honestly, if you can't handle being down like 50, 60% on an investment, honestly, small market cap coins are just not going to be for you. You know, maybe even want to maybe play in the top 10. It might be easier for you if you can't handle being down like 50, 60%. Because yeah, when you're playing into a smaller market cap, you're going to have more volatility, right? Volatility is good because the price could go up really fast, but it's also, could work against you because again, the price can also go down. So again, if you can't handle those big swings, then again, this a lot like I'm not betting as much money when I'm investing in a smaller market cap. Like would never put something like $15,000 into something that's at like a million, 2 million market cap, anything like really under like 30, 40 million. Even 40 million is a very crazy number even to throw 15K at. But again, if you want to be able to make those 10x, 100x, 1000x gains, you got to be able to have some money in some of those more smaller market cap coins, because again, Bitcoin is not going to do you a 1000x in a year. I wish, according to some people, that might happen. If you ask Michael Saylor, he'll tell you that it might do 100x in the next couple of months. But again, I don't know that that's going to be the case. The price, always volatile, but we have not seen any crazy swings like that. Again, maybe we see some kind of free and it turns out to be amazing, then we'll see something happen like that. But until then, I don't think that's necessarily going to be what's going to happen. Again, I don't have a fortune. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know. Again, my points of view and stuff like that. But yeah, Bitcoin coming in at 106.3 right now, definitely key zone in terms of what the heck is going to happen next, right? Also been following Ethereum pretty close. I wanted to make an episode on Ethereum because, again, this is one of the trades that I've probably been following the closest, even though, again, I'm not making a million videos about it, but I really want to know what's going to happen with Ethereum here. And it looks like a lot of people are in the same boat as me. They want to know what the heck is. You guys could see lack in volume in the past year, right? Still down 27% on the year, but some of these more smaller time intervals maybe showing that Ethereum might be able to make a run if we're not forming a giant wedge right here and seeing a rejection, right? Again, we want to see this trend look a little more strong, right? I don't like scenes of this range. This is like we've probably rejected off this zone at least like 3-4 times. You guys can see we've had a retest of this zone now a couple of times. So I just feel a little bit sketchy about it. This top zone, like look, 1, 2, 3 strikes, buddy. I don't know about that. And then again, we might see this thing even drop down below this bottom Keltner channel just based off the 1 hour, just to see how it's lacking that volume. And we talked that sideways price action is not a good indicator of a lot of volume coming in, right? As you guys can see, that rising wedge again, we might see some more shorts. If anything, I would think that on the 1 hour, this next candle would probably be red in this case scenario. But again, support down here on Ethereum. Do think Ethereum will be one coin that does move with the market. So again, Bitcoin does decide it wants to move up, I think Ethereum will probably lead the race. It seems like it's been performing pretty nicely, even though, again, it's been pretty concerning based off of a lot of these charts, even still not out of the woods by a long shot, right? If I go to our all-time chart right here, looking like it could still possibly break down as low as, like I said, 11, 1200. So I always give you guys both case scenarios, right? I tell you guys when things are looking good, price ranges that things could kind of go to. I also tell you guys the worst case scenario because sometimes there's a worst case scenario, right? We talked about the fact that there could be a correction. And, again, I didn't know that there was going to be a war, but there was a correction. We corrected down to 100K. The question is now, again, is 100K enough of a correction or not of a correction? Let me know. I want to know. Check my phone. Sorry. Get my walnut over here. We're going to talk about some other coins too. I want to kind of see how the rest of the market is reacting. Dang near a stable coin, right? Still coming in at 217. This thing has managed to stay above $2 the entire time. Literally, just XRP has kind of almost been like not very phased. Even past 7, I don't know. XRP is like the weirdest coin because it'll just like this thing has turned into a stable coin so many times, and then out of nowhere it just like does this, right? And it just has like another leg up. Even you could see it really on the logarithmic. It happens so much, right? Just has these times where it's just a stable coin and then a big parabolic run up, and then it just trending sideways, and then again these run ups, trending sideways, run up. So again, is XRP and then have another leg up? This guy seems to think so, or this girl, I guess, Lingrid. I don't know what kind of name Lingrid is. I think that's like Russian or something, or Ukrainian or something like that. But Lingrid is bullish on it. She's bullish on next. Again, I don't know. I don't know Lingrid. I don't know, homie. What do you guys think? You guys on XRP? You guys think XRP can make a comeback, or again, is XRP just too fat market cap? It's just gonna coins. I tell you guys, I look for things that have volume on this dip. I like coins that show that they have demand, right? XRP does show that it has demand because it has the most search volume of all the crypto, except for maybe Pepe. Actually, I think Pepe and XRP, they're like right there. To be honest with you guys, Pepe has a huge search volume, but XRP does also. But again, XRP's market cap might make it a little bit. Again, we talked about, playing in those smaller market caps if you're looking to make those bigger gains. Well, how much can XRP move? Is it going to go? It's already at 128 billion market cap right now. So, like, right? You want to double your money, it's going to have to go to like $240 billion, which is almost as much as Ethereum right now. So it would be pretty significantly up there. It would put it above Tether. Really, in a good, healthy bull market, Tether should not be the number 3 coin. But the reason why Tether's still in the number 3 is because, again, we haven't had confirmation yet. We haven't had enough liquidity dumping back into the market for, again, one of these coins to flip that spot. I would probably expect that XRP is going to reclaim that number 3 spot if we do decide that we want to take off. As you guys could see, CoinMarketCap says that we're only 17 out of 100 to an altcoin season right now. So again, maybe this will change tomorrow. Again, we did have a lot of bullish activity. I don't think that our fear greed index should be sitting at a 48 right now. I probably think that we're probably a little bit closer to the green, right? There's a lot of positive talks right now. Even though we didn't lower the interest rate, we do have some kind of a ceasefire, seems like, happening in the Middle East, which is, again, positive. And it seems like that's really what the market was reacting to today. But right now, it just seems like the market's kind of in speculation mode. I don't expect any kind of movement tonight going into the night. Maybe I'm wrong, right? I do think that by the time I wake up, though, I probably think that the market will have had some kind of a move or did something, just because, again, it's kind of at a decision point right now. It's either going to be creating a wedge, or, again, maybe we have some kind of cup and handle pattern here, and maybe we could start breaking back out. This thing is going to be highly volatile for the rest of the night. So, again, I'm not going to be sitting over the chart, but at the same time, I'll be checking my phone every now and then. And one thing I like to do too, if you're one of those people that does like to check their phone like all the time to the point where it's just like you're glued, and you're trying to make sure it doesn't, like, your coins are not hitting certain prices, you could just set an alarm or set an alert on your phone. On Dex Screener, they have a mobile app that's really good at setting alerts and stuff like that. I always have alerts set on my phone all the time, but I'm also not panic selling. It's just kind of to let me know also when to make a video or things like that. Just kind of just so I know what's going on in the market, so I could frame what I'm going to be talking about. A lot of the time, though, I have no idea what I'm going to be talking about. I literally just turn on the camera and I'm just like, okay, today we're going to talk about whatever coin is that we're going to be talking about in the video. But I feel like it's more organic that way. You guys get my real reaction to the chart and my real opinions. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's always going to be honest, right? If the market's looking a little bit cooked, I'm going to tell you guys the market's looking a little bit cooked, right? But if the market's looking strong, then we'll talk about that too, right? Tuesday, the fact that we saw as much movement as we did on Monday was, again, concerning to me. So I'm paying attention action, but at the same time, I'm weary of it. I'm weary. I don't know about this, bro. I don't know about this, bro. But what do you guys think? Are you bullish on it? Are you bearish on it? Do you guys think that this is some legitimate price action? Somebody said, "Oh, but 18 market, you're calling out your videos again." Oh my gosh, man. Well, hey, don't put any money in crypto that you can't afford to lose. I'll definitely tell you that. I always tell you guys that this is not a space where you need to put 15K in to wanted to make a lot of money and you didn't want to take a lot of risk. Why don't you just take like $5, $10 and go put it in something with a market cap of like 5,000 or like 10,000 and see if it goes up to 1 million? Then look, you would have made a bunch of money and you wouldn't have to be freaking out over 15K being down or whatever. But again, you got to assess the risk when you get into the trade and you have to understand the risk. If you're putting 15K into a market cap that is so small, then you got to be ready. It's going to be a roller coaster. Get ready, especially right now, especially depending on where you bought in at on Bitcoin, right? This is why we talk about Bitcoin for so long at the beginning of the video so that you guys know kind of where you're buying in at, right? So if Bitcoin's at a point where it could fall off a cliff and you're just entering in the market, and then, or if you're buying in at the top, some people are buying in at the top and it's like, we're fearful. I'm greedy. When they're greedy, I'm fearful. I just track these tops up over here using the fear greed index, and you can kind of see when we're in this extreme fear, this extreme greed state. It's been a time where we see a sell-off. I just look for patterns and stuff like that, and I look for zones of accumulation. And I am a fan of taking profit along the way. Let me just say that too. The hardest in crypto because you're either going to feel like you're down in it and you're going to be paper hands in it, or you're feeling like you're up in it and you feeling like it can go up even more, but you're wondering should you lock your profit. Da, da, da. Again, you don't ever take your money off the table. You never made any money, right? What the? So just something to think about. Again, a lot of people. I've watched a lot of people turn a little bit of money into a lot of money and then never actually take money out, or at least take out their initial investment, right? Like that kind of thing. It's like, I don't know, like you being a little greedy there. I mean, you're playing, it's a game of greed, right? It's a game of greed. But again, nobody knows what the top's going to be. Nobody knows what the bottom's going to be, right? It's not to say for sure that the market will make a recovery. Falling knife event, we could go right back into, talks of wars and all this kind of stuff. And it could be really bad. It could be really bad. I have no idea what's going to happen. That's why I always tell you guys, just be ready. Don't be putting more money into this game than you're ready to, you know, lose. Especially again, you got to consider in 2023, Bitcoin was sitting at 15,000. Time to put 15K in was at that time, not at 100,000, right? So you put your money in at 100,000. Maybe we drop back down to 100K. If we drop back down to 100K from 106, there's going to be a lot of blood, a lot of corrections. I would say a lot of coins will be correcting 20, 30, maybe even 40% if we drop back down even below that. If we see a retest of 85, I would expect a lot of these coins to be bleeding for like 50 to 60%. So again, that's the way the market moves because again, the beauty of volatility, it's a double-edged sword, right? It can be a beautiful thing or it can be something that again, not so hot. So these things as opportunities when it's a coin that I feel like has demand. It's a coin that I feel like is listed on a lot of places. It's accessible. If Bitcoin's going to go on too, again, I'm not playing in a ton of poo-poo Solana. If I'm going to do that, again, I'm not going to put 15K into something that's at like a below 40 million market cap for sure. That'd be nuts. But at the same time, I have spent like $500-$600 on gas fees in the past just to get into a trade where I could possibly lose money. And that is something that a lot of people don't ever had to deal with in cryptocurrency. But that's something that we were dealing with just in 2020, 2021 was those type of gas prices. So again, like I mean, I've suffered losses. If I pull up my gas transaction past couple years, it's just kind of like, wow, crypto has come a long way. It's a good thing that the transactions are so cheap now. But that was one thing that I actually liked about ETH actually was those high transaction fees because I felt like people were not able to just paper hands. Like you couldn't just wake up in the morning and just be like, okay, I'm just selling my crypto today because it's going to cost you like $300-$400. So you have to like actually think about it. And it might take you a couple hours of like actually sitting over the chart and be like, do I actually want to do this? Or is this actually just going to cost me and like ruin my day? So a lot of the times that gas fee has saved me from making a bad decision during a time of volatility. But and then also I feel like that's another reason why the Binance Smart Chain didn't do very well too, because I feel like Binance was just too easy to paper hands out of those projects, and it was just like people were just not holding on to those coins. So I did like the fact that the transaction fees on ETH, stuff like that. Um, Again, I don't think that it's good now that the gas fees are not that high, because they're now on Ethereum blockchain when they ain't even moving like that, right? A lot of these Solana coins have been moving. That's why I'm paying attention to them. Let's talk about some Toshi coins. You guys could see Toshi coin coming in at 205 million right now, right? Actually coming in a key zone itself, right? Is it going to be able to see a retest of this level right above, right? This 210 range, right? Actually, if Toshi can see, we got to really get a important range. We got to definitely start breaking a move, right? But this 4-hour chart is looking like we got to start seeing some price action, right? Interesting. Never a dull moment in crypto. That's why I always love it, right? You guys can see the 4-hour chart actually not looking super, super bad when you're looking at it as a bar chart. It's not looking as bad, right? Maybe we can get up here and close some of this gap. That again would be super nice for Toshi. Toshi coin right now, kind of just riding this upper Keltner channel, bouncing off the 8 pretty nicely. This is not bad. This is not a bad setup at all for Toshi, actually. See though, the 12-hour is really where the resistances are right now. So again, next couple hours, like I said, the price probably ain't gonna move for the next couple until I wake up in the morning. So 12-hour chart, this candle is going to represent 12 hours right here. The next one will represent 12 hours also. So again, probably by the time I wake up tomorrow, because again, it's like 10 o'clock at night tonight, this thing will probably have made up its mind over where it's going to go, which is interesting, at least for the temporary. I do think that, again, we'll see a big move on Thursday. I don't know why I'm still sticking with Thursday, but I'm still sticking with Thursday, that we're going to see the big move on Thursday. Maybe we see it on Wednesday, right? But maybe it happens also Thursday. I don't really know. We'll see. But again, where can we head on Bitcoin? Are we going to start seeing a confirmed breakout, or again, is this trick from the bears, right? Are they just trying to put our foot in it again, right? You guys can see we've had retests in the past of this orange, and you guys see kind of how often we've tended to go down and trend back into it after we've already made contact. A lot of the times we don't just touch it one time and then that's it, right? Usually when we touch that orange, we're touching it a few times. Here we did just kind of, drop down, touch it one time, and then had a big run up. But again, usually when we touch that orange, we see some consolidation, some volatility, and some retests again of that fear. So I would expect a lot of FUD sandwiches to be coming out of the news over the next couple weeks, probably over the next couple weeks, really going into July. I would expect a tornado of misinformation, a tornado of news and stuff like that. That's both bearish and bullish. Again, these guys like jacking around the price to, liquidate longs and shorts and stuff like that. And in my opinion, that's exactly what happened over the past couple days, right? Even over the weekend, right? With all this crazy war stuff that's been going on. I mean, Bitcoin really never capitulated too far down, did it? Just kind of touched 98, which again was a necessary level that it needed to touch. We were already talking about that, and it bounced up pretty nicely. Now it's coming in at 106 again. We're still back in the conversation of, has Bitcoin still looking volatile, right? We have a rising wedge here, a couple of signs that are showing that, again, we're not out of the woods, right? We still have to see some more breakup. We still got to see some more positivity in the market again. Where are we at right now? What do you guys think? You guys think we got some kind of a wedge here? Now we're going to start that this thing is going to start losing its steam as we form this rising wedge, right? We either have a falling wedge and that's bullish, or we have a rising wedge and that's bearish. So in my opinion, man, look at this. You can see this rising wedge really starting to sort of break down on the daily. And we might have seen a top to this trend unless we can really start building off of this pretty soon. But again, it's going to be speculative into the night. I don't think that, again, either way is going to break tonight. I think that it's going to have a lot of these other meme coins too, um, like these ones that I feel set the tone for the meme rally, right? Like the outliers, these top guys in this top in these top coins. I like Pepe, I like SHIB. I'm paying attention to these coins because again, they could kind of dictate a little bit the market if these dog coins want to see a pump, or maybe again Toshi decides he wants to pump. Then maybe a lot of those cat coins might pump, like PopCat and all these other coins. I do think that there will be a time where those cat coins will make another recovery, and I do think that Toshi coin at that time will be the coolest cat on base. So we'll see how that plays out if that ends up happening. But a lot of these coins, a lot of meme coins, right? Still in the top people, even telling me, oh, meme coins are going to be done after this cycle. As a matter of fact, it's funny because even last cycle, people were telling me that. They were like, oh, shit, it's going to be done. These coins are going to be done. All these coins are going to be done. And a lot of these coins, they're not seeing a lot of volume. Even Pepe coins seeing some good volume. A lot of these coins up big on the year. Not all of them have made new all-time highs because again, you had things like Dogecoin that hit like $81 billion last cycle, $40 billion. Yeah, they have not reached those highs yet, but again, we haven't had a blow off top yet either. So again, if we're not at the top of our cycle, then these coins could still have more space to run. It's hard to say. So again, we'll kind of see what happens with Bitcoin. Really depends, I guess, on how you feel about the narrative, right? There's definitely a narrative playing out. I feel like we can all see, either it's gonna play out good, and or again, it's gonna end pretty badly and pretty crazy, right? Somebody said all my ticket bags are packed, basically waiting for the ship. I feel that, man. Yeah, we're still planning on still traveling too. I'm still planning on doing a lot of traveling again. Just not planning on doing it right now. Planning on mostly just making more content right now. Putting in a ton of work because again, I'm trying to take advantage of these cheaper prices myself. So um again, just putting in the work so that I can be in a position to do that. But a lot of people still bullish on this cycle. Seems like people feeling like we have not broken down. Somebody else sharing the stock to flow chart. We talked about all these charts just today, guys, just in today's video. We've already showed the rainbow chart, and now this guy's sharing the stock to flow chart. We just shared this just this morning. So again, it just seems like the market, a lot of it's kind of on the same page right now in terms of just kind of where we're at in the cycle. And again, a lot of people think that the stock to flow chart is not a solid chart, but in my opinion, it's been pretty solid in the past. So yeah, I just look at those things as indicators. It's not to say for sure that's what's going to happen and they're going to be correct, but you know, you could just look at the past and see kind of how it's played out in the past. That's all we kind of do. So some of those indicators will prove true over time, and some of those indicators will prove to be flawed over time. Just kind of monitoring, just kind of depends over time which instruments will be the best for tracking crypto. Right now, though, I feel like stock to flow, pi cycle indicator. I like that beam indicator. Those are my go-to long-term charts that I pay attention to. And this guy, Tom Tucker, saying maybe if the world goes for peace. I kind of agree with this. I think that's happening in the world that the market can possibly do pretty well. But again, I'm a little bit also weary the fact that they didn't lower the interest rate. They're just kind of talking about it and like ring about it. Again, I feel like the market is just like, man, it's just this is the most manipulated market I've ever been a part of. And I've been a part of the market there for a while now, and I've seen some crap, man. I've seen even when Elon was doing that crap back in 2020, where one day he was bullish on crypto and the next day he wasn't bullish, and he had so much like say so over the space that he could actually make a price impact. That was nuts. And then now I feel like we're dealing with kind of like a similar type of thing. You're dealing with all these different events happening in the world and stuff like that that are affecting the price constantly every time we get to like a key level. So I don't know if anybody else knows that, but I've noticed that. What's up, Harley? I'm just seeing your comment. Also, Richie, what's up, brother? Shows. I'm trying to do it all. I just realized how bright this camera or this light in my face. But yeah, gonna probably be volatile into the next couple of days as people really wondering, do we have any kind of peace, or again, is this just fake peace? Right? Is it fake peace? That's what a lot of people want to know. Um, but I'm still bullish on the cycle. I think that 2025 will still be pretty decent. Let's kind of see. Also, I just want to kind of pop over here. We'll just pop back over here. Just check on Toshi a little bit and probably check on some of these other little coins too. Just because again, I haven't checked on any of these coins, even though it's a little bit off video. Actually, I think the type of video is for Pepe Coin. I should check Pepe Coin too. Actually, yeah, we're gonna check Pepe Coin because we gotta check Pepe Coin. I like Pepe Coin, and the reason why I like Pepe Coin is because of the amount of search volume that Pepe Coin has. Pepe Coin has a lot of interest. This coin, in my opinion, is going to be a sleeper, and I'm excited. And over the next couple of years, I do think that Pepe will do well. Again, I'm just saying that because brand recognition, I feel like, and just the amount of search volume that Pepe has is kind of nuts. As a matter of fact, I want to show you just how much Pepe has and why I like it so much, right? So we can check over here. We can compare like Pepe Coin. So we'll just do like the YouTube search volume for Pepe Coin, and we'll do it, and we'll do like Bitcoin, right? Like more people are talking about Pepe than Bitcoin. Like we'll do Ethereum. This is why I'm still like, I believe in this, right? Look, Pepe way more than Ethereum, right? Can't be more than XRP, right? More than XRP and Pepe Coin, because this thing has still been moving. It could still have the potential to be trending on Twitter. This, like, it's getting more search volume than Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. That's why I like Pepe, because it's being talked about and a whole bunch of stuff. So again, that are all indicators that I like to see in coin. Just something to just a little food for thought. But didn't join the Pepe Farcoin. I still like Farcoin. I think Farcoin is still gonna do well. I'm still bullish on Farcoin. But we'll see. As a matter of fact, I wonder how that's doing. We'll check that out. That is one coin that actually I was thinking, it was my number one. I told you guys that was going to be my number one AI coin pick. So people thought that was ridiculous, but we also caught that at like 20 million market cap and it went to it. So again, pretty crazy. But I want to know again, is Pepe going to see recovery, or can Pepe still see some more sell off? Pepe coin got a matter of fact, this coin has more people following it now on X than it even has holders. Like people are following Pepe on X and don't even hold the coin because there's 700. Again, the fact that they have such a huge community and they're actually getting good reach over there. Again, all solid reasons why I'm long on Pepe and why I have patience with Pepe. But again, I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe Pepe will break down. Maybe it will not go good, right? But again, I do like those coins that a lot of people are talking about. I keep hearing about they're going to do good. Yeah, Zero and Moondang. Yeah, I saw OKX tweeted out about Moondang. the other day. So again, that's also good when you got exchanges that are tweeting out your coin pretty consistently. That is pretty good, right? So that's another coin that I'm paying attention to. I'm also paying and those other coins that like they performed pretty well, like Chill Guy also. Like these are all coins that kind of perform pretty well and now they might be sitting pretty cheap. Like people don't like these coins when they go down in price, but I'll be looking at them like guys really like that cheap. Like I'm wondering actually what well this coin is listed on a lot of exchanges. You can see it has definitely had a big massive places. So again, maybe you might start seeing this thing get listed on some more big exchanges. I don't know that that's going to be the case, but I do look at these coins that are down. I don't just say, "Oh, the coin is down and it was up before." That's the end of it. It's like, okay, well, I like to actually buy these things when they're cheap. So again, I look at these times as times of opportunity to get into projects that I wanted to get into that maybe I felt like I missed my entry point before, and maybe I can get something like that. I don't know. It's always risky, right? But again, I'm paying attention to a lot of these coins. Paying attention to Sui also, as well as looking for that next Sui giant, right? I feel like there's going to be a giant on Sui, and I want to position myself in that coin that I feel like is going to be that next 10x, 100x, 1000x coin on Sui chain, because Sui's still sitting at 9.5 billion. Solana's sitting at like 70 billion, right? So this thing could really have some upside. With Solana at 77. So yeah, I mean, this thing is sitting like 10 times smaller. Sui, this network can still absolutely perform really well. It's definitely one of the top DeFi projects that I'm paying attention to. Of course, Pulse Chain. I like Pulse Chain. And outside of like Ethereum, I like Ethereum. And Solana, I don't know. Solana's kind of slowly becoming kind of like Binance Smart Chain to me. Just too many scams, too low fees, or to the point where people are just like swing trading too much in and out of the trades they're not holding on. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Solana right now. I feel like the market is still a little bit undecided on Solana. As a matter of fact, I'm paying attention to some of these longer term charts on Solana, and I'm wondering if Solana is going to hold up, or again, if it's going to see another breakdown, right? We could see a shoulder, head, shoulder possibly forming here on Solana. And again, if that happens, this thing could send down pretty far. We saw it happen here, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. It sold off. This thing could be doing the same thing. Shoulder here, head, shoulder, sell off, right? So paying attention to Solana, this chart doesn't really look as healthy as something like maybe, let's see how the Sui chart looks, right? Sui sitting at 280 right now. We'll see how this chart looks, if it looks as nasty or if it looks like it has any signs of life that are forming. I mean, Sui actually does look better because, again, it's formed this wedge in the past, had a run up. So, again, it's forming a wedge. Maybe it will. It doesn't look as bearish as Ethereum forming that giant head and shoulders pattern. Um, this pattern definitely looks like it has a higher percent chance of continuing an uptrend, right? It's on a little bit of some kind of an uptrend over here all time too. So again, I would feel, even though again, holding something like Sui is going to have a lot more volatility than holding like something like Solana. You might wake up tomorrow and Sui might be up or down like 10-15%. That's how volatile it is at the price that it's at right now. But again, you don't make no money with no volatility. So I do like to have a little bit of that risk in my portfolio, but then at the same time, I'm not like all in on like small market cap coins and stuff like that. To me, that's so crazy. Like if you're in cryptocurrency and you don't own some Bitcoin, you're tripping, homie. Like if you don't own some Bitcoin, like again, I can't tell you what to do with your money, advice, but like, why are you in crypto? Why are you in cryptocurrency? You ain't even hold no Bitcoin. What the? I mean, if you have these breakout moments when Bitcoin is like rising in dominance and just totally outperforming the market, and it just seems like all the money from all these altcoins and goes into Bitcoin. People trying to get the best position in Bitcoin that they can get, and overall, again, Bitcoin undefeated over time. It's had its dips in the past, but so far so good. Big Bitcoin undefeated, right? Will time hold though? Will this trend hold? Will this rainbow chart, hold true, or will Bitcoin get blow off top? Maybe this was the top, right? Even though this really doesn't look like a top, it just really looks like a lot of sideways motion. Looks like an accumulation zone. Again, Trump's only been in office since November. Even though it feels like a lot's been going on, price has been going crazy. It hasn't been that long. We're only in like June right now. Still, we got like 6 months, 7 months, or something like that. So again, um, I expect some volatility in the market, but again, you see that are buying the coins. They're public about it. They're telling you these are countries, MicroStrategy, big institutions, hedge funds. So it's freaking out, right? The usual, right? Smart money, not panicking, and then retail freaking out. Always, 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 always. But again, what do you guys think? Are you bearish on the market? Are you bullish on it? You guys think that Bitcoin has a chance, right? There's always a chance that we have seen the top. There's always a chance. Again, we talked about, the double top. I don't know. Said hard not to, especially when you're just like, oh, I just gotta diversify. I just gotta maybe if I just buy enough 10 million market cap coins, just one of them will hit and it'll be good. I just need to put $100 in each one of these. It's again, it's a volatile game, especially anything under 40 million market cap. I already told you guys it's gonna be extremely volatile. Um, yes or no. I don't know. I don't really know what that is, to be honest with you. Um, what do I think about Sonic? I haven't heard about Sonic. I'll be careful with those coins that have like a trade, because I just feel like they're gonna have a hard time listing that on exchanges. If like, what if that coin ends up being really big, gets a lot of holders, and they start listing it on exchanges, and then they end up having a lawsuit because people are using their name, and the company actually has no affiliation with the coin, and then the coin ends up being a scam. I don't know. So I just, if it's named after like a legitimate company or something like that, maybe I would be a little bit shorter on it. I wouldn't be as long on it because I just don't know what kind of growth something like that can have, right? Same thing with like forks and stuff like that. Like when somebody forks a project, like if it's called like, um, if the coin is called P and it's a squirrel, and then it's like another coin called like Acorn or like Big, I feel like that's really hit or miss with the market. Sometimes those do well, right? Really well after the big peanut does well, and then that'll be good. But again, how long do those coins last? How long does that type of price action actually exist before it doesn't, that coin drops to zero? Just seems like more times than not, it's, falling right back down. So again, I'm just looking for coins that one have shown signs of demand, the same thing that the exchanges look for, right? I'm looking for these coins that have signs of demand in this Bitcoin volatility. I'm also not at this price range that are on these exchanges because, again, I want things that are easy to obtain for retail, right? I do think that retail doesn't really understand a lot of this stuff. Like 99% of the stuff, retail doesn't really understand. They're not really going to know how to, go buy a coin off of, using Radium or Uniswap. The average person does not do that. Like your grandma is not going to know how to do that. But if grandma wants to buy Bitcoin, she's going to go on the app. She's going to buy Bitcoin. Maybe she might have even heard about Shiba Inu, right? Maybe she was watching me back in 2020. Knows about SHIB, right? She wants to buy some SHIB. She can do it right there, right? Grandma's not going to want to listen to you tell her about how to buy coins on Radium. She's not going to hear it. So I do think that, especially with the boomers are going to want to be involved with meme coins, but they're not going to want to sit really and like learn how to get into the heavily volatile stuff. They're just going to want to be like, oh, Shiba Inu, Pepe coin. That's again why I talk about those coins and why I like those coins, because I just kind of see how they've moved in the past and just their tendencies, habits, and stuff. And I just feel like those guys, they're going to be looking for them dog coins. They're going to be looking for them meme coins. Researching a whole bunch of stuff. The main thing that they're worried about is, oh wow, I sold, need to buy more. I should have bought more. Again, a lot of the times these guys, they get out of the market, they end up coming back into the market when the market it's times of accumulation when there's a lot of fear. They just like to join back into the market once the price starts going up, which again is a bad habit. It's not a good habit to be into. I'm always paying attention to that fear greed index just for that reason, because I don't want to be the guy sitting holding a bunch of bags, right? I want to be kind of like having an exit strategy somewhat, really, right? Especially if I'm up in a lot of positions. A lot of positions, again, a lot of people have been up pretty going on since 2023. Is it going to continue on? We'll kind of see at the top, but you never know, right? But yeah, what do you guys think? Are we at the Bitcoin? You guys think that we have more room left in this cycle? Also, when do you think that we're going to find a bottom if we haven't found it already, right? If 100K is not the bottom and we do need to see a retest of lower ranges, just how low can this thing go, right? I guess that would be a pretty good question, right? A lot of people, again, thinking that Bitcoin is looking like get ready for its next leg up. It could, guys. By Thursday, we could already be flirting with that 110 range. I really wouldn't be surprised. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if I wake up tomorrow and Bitcoin's sitting at like 104, 3, breaking down, going into Thursday and things looking grim, and then the weekend things looking really bad. But again, we never know what's going to happen in this market. It's always speculative. And again, anybody that tells you that they do know what's going to happen, they're lying. So, yeah. But anyway, we've been on this live now for about an hour. I'm gonna put out a couple more videos. I gotta do a couple more things for tonight. But I appreciate all you guys that stayed and watched for the whole video. I appreciate you guys. Make sure that you share this video over on X for those guys that did not catch it. And yeah, appreciate you guys. I'll catch